is Tanya Lorimore with our company that you guys love so much. I'm so happy to see so many familiar names on here. This is an excellent webinar. Everyone continues to come back for Austin. It's been all over the news. I look forward to answering all your questions and helping you into your next performing investment property. For those of you that don't know me yet, I've been with the company for about 2 years now, working with individuals like you that are just getting started and or returning investors to help you analyze your property profiles on a case-by-case basis. So let me know how I can help you with your first property or your 8th property. We'll take it step by step. So this is, in fact, a live and interactive webinar for you guys, so use the chat box at the very bottom there to ask questions throughout the presentation. As soon as you see something that you have a question about, don't wait till the end. Go ahead and type it in. What I'm going to do is either answer it while Craig is presenting so that you don't have to wait until the very end, or at the very end, if it's a very common question, I'm going to have Craig answer it for you directly. So keep the questions coming, you guys. Again, my name is Tanya, and I'm your real estate advisor and possibly long-term friend. So at the very end, my contact information will appear so that you guys can have my email, my phone number, and we'll take it from there. So I know we're all excited for Austin, Texas. We've been working with Craig and his team, the HEC team, since 2006. We enjoy him because we have practically compete buyers over and over and over again with his market. So he has a wonderful property management team, which makes it so wonderful to work with him because he doesn't want to put you in a property that's not going to be easy for him to rent out, right? So I'm going to have Craig jump on here and introduce himself and take you guys through the PowerPoint. So enjoy. Craig, are you there?
I am here, Tanya. Thank you for having me tonight.
Well, of course, our pleasure.
Well, I want to again thank the Marshall Reddick team and all the group over there. Of course, Tanya for taking the time this evening. Of course, all of you that are taking time out of your busy day to learn a little bit more about Austin. And Tanya said it right. We love Austin. I'm biased. I live here. Moved here about 10 years ago from the West Coast. I've never regretted it. It's a great city. Lots to do. Fantastic place to live and raise kids. And it's easy for us to be able to go out and talk to investors about Austin because it is truly a great place, great economic market, and a great real estate market. So as Tanya had mentioned, if you have questions as we go along, be sure to type those in, and Tanya will help to answer those questions. And if we have a little time afterwards, hopefully I can help to answer any questions you have concerning the PowerPoint and anything we talk about tonight in Austin. Well, I'm looking to move the page, and it's not moving, so let's see if I can get it to move. There it goes. All right, so a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight. There's always got to be a technical glitch as we move along. So some of the things we're going to look at, we're going to talk a little bit about our company, HEC Real Estate, HRG, and, of course, we're going to talk about Austin. That's what you're here for. We're going to learn a little about the economics of Austin, the quality of life, and, of course, we're going to talk about real estate, the real estate market and the rental market, and that dynamic in Austin, what's been happening, what we project. And, of course, we've got some properties we want to share with you tonight. I think you're going to find very, very exciting, very interesting, the kind of properties any investor would want to have in their portfolio. Now, concerning HEC Real Estate Group itself, in our acronym is HRG. We're both a leasing, management, and full sales real estate brokerage here in Austin. We service Central Texas since 2005, so we can specialize in helping you find a single-family residence or a multifamily, duplex, fourplex, triplex, or even small apartment building. Now, of course, we can help you, as said, with both the leasing, the management, and the sales, so we consider ourselves a 100% turnkey program. So otherwise, if we help you find a nice single-family home up in Cedar Park or Round Rock, you don't have to go search out for a property management company or for contractors or for make-ready people. We can take care of it all at one stop. Nothing worse than having to buy our investment property and then scramble to find a property manager and all the vendors at the same time. We can take care of that for you all here at HRG. Now here's a picture of some of our team. If you're looking at the screen there from the left, that's me in the black shirt, dark hair on the left. and Doug is in the middle in the back. He's one of my investor specialists, and if you've bought anything here in Austin recently, you've worked with Doug. He's fantastic with folks. He really hustles to find the right property and keep you up to date on a regular basis of what opportunities there are out there. Now, Michael's off to the right if you're looking at your screen, and he's one of our leasing coordinators. He does a great job, and we also have Renee, just not in the picture. So tonight when you look and you see a property you like and we get you that property and then we're looking to get it leased, either Michael or Renee will be assisting you in getting that property leased in a very efficient manner. Karma in the purple, she's one of our property managers. She does a great job in keeping good relationships with the tenants and, of course, keeping you up to date on anything that's happened with the property. On the left in the red there, that's my wife, Anna. She is my bookkeeper and accounting officer at HRG, and they all do a great job. Now, one of the things that we really like about our company is that we always have information available for you. So otherwise, if for some reason you need an invoice or for some reason you need to get information on a repair or statements, all that information is always available to you at all times. Through our web program that we have, you can always go to our website and click on Owner Portal and be able to jump into the website and always be able to see any of your statements. We believe that the more information you have at your fingertips, the better the communication, the happier our owners are. But it also plays with our tenants also. They have access through their tenant portal to be able to do payments online, make repair requests. And again, it's the whole idea of communication, that they can get information to us and we can get it to them at any point in time, and that makes for happy tenants and happy owners. And of course, that makes for successful renting of properties. So you can see right here, we have the arrow on here. Tenants at any point in time, or applicants I should say, can go right to our website and be able to view their lease listings and be able to apply right online. We have the tenant portal here, so at any point in time, applicants or even tenants at that time can jump online and be able to make their payments online, which is very efficient. And of course, make repair requests and be able to see any invoices that go to them. And as stated before, you can see with the arrow, we have our owners portal where you can go in, you can see all your statements at any point in time, your leases, everything you'll have right there for you at your fingertips. Now, after this webinar, at any point in time you want to try to get an update on what's happening in Austin, you can always go to hrgaustin.com, which is our website, or hectrealestate.com. Both those will take you to our website. You can go to our website and go under local and see where the yellow arrow there where it says Austin News. Click on that and there's links that we update on a regular basis about events and things happening in Austin. It could be from stats on the real estate market, companies moving here, new laws, new things that would have an effect on what's happening in the economy. So it's a great place and a great resource. At any point in time, you can click on there and be able to see the link with the article headline, so you can easily see the different things, the different articles that are on there. And then if you want to read it real quick, you can click on it and keep you up to date on Austin, what's happening. And for some of you who may have not had any experience, haven't come to Austin, haven't been to a webinar on Austin, or haven't been to one of our events when we've been to California, it's a great place to learn very quickly about all the dynamic economic news that's been happening in Austin over the last couple of years. So I definitely suggest that to anybody who wants to learn more about Austin. Okay, so let's get into a little bit about Austin. We're going to do a little history on Austin about what makes up the Austin area, population, things like that. So the Austin metro area, it's in central Texas. It makes up of 5 counties. Now in the middle you can see Travis County. That is generally the area that makes up the city of Austin in general. You have Williamson County in the top, which is in the yellow, Hayes County in the green, Caldwell County on the south there, and then in the yellow you see Bastrop County. So that makes up the majority of the Austin metro area that we service. It's 5 counties. We're about 2 million in population, and we're averaging over 150 per day moving to Austin. Last year we had a little over 50,000 people that moved to Austin, and they're coming here because there's jobs. And again, we were ranked #1 for the 3rd year in a row on Forbes' list of fastest growing cities, and we're really proud of that. Okay, so a little more fun facts about Austin. Austin has doubled in population every 25 years or less since 1840. 45% of the adults hold a BA or higher degree compared with only 28.5% in the USA. And the reason for that is because all the higher education that we have again here in Austin with the University of Texas. And the median family income for Austin is $66,000, which is very high. Areas like Cedar Park and Round Rock, they average almost $80,000 for the median family income. Now, the reason we have all these great stats of the income levels and the people moving here, it's all about jobs. Jobs, jobs, and more jobs. So let's talk a little bit about the type of jobs that we have here in Austin. And as some of you probably already know, that Austin, Texas is the capital of Texas. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of government, federal jobs here in the Austin area. We have the University of Texas, over 50,000 students, has a massive impact, and their campus is right downtown, less than a mile from the capital, the Texas Capitol. And of course, as most of you know, the Austin area here has a huge tech business. It's actually the second largest tech sector in the country outside of San Jose now. So we have a lot of major players in the tech industry. We have a lot of biotech, and we also have a lot of green tech, a lot of startups. So some of the companies we have here, just as an example, Dell. Dell's headquarters is in Round Rock and employs over 15,000 employees here in the Austin area with multiple campuses. You'll recognize companies like HP, IBM, Intel, Samsung, which they just brought in and built 2 large fab plants over in the south of Round Rock in Austin off of I-35 in Parmer. In 2005, 6, and 7 they built those. Of course, we have Apple, that's in North Austin. They have just expanded their campus. They were at 3,500 employees, and they figured to be between 7,000, excuse me, 7,000, 8,000 employees after next year. So they've had a massive expansion in the Austin area. You have Yodel, who just announced they're coming to town, and they're bringing 800 jobs. National Instruments, also North Austin. Cisco Systems, 3M, GM opened up 2 years ago their tech innovation plant. Again, over close to between the Samsung and the Dell main campuses, and they started off with about 500 employees, and now they're over just a little over 2,000 employees. And again, their job there is to come up with technology that makes GM more efficient and cost effective. You got companies like EA for gaming. Visa has a tech center here. Facebook, AMD, I'm going through a lot of them here. Google, in fact, they are about ready to announce an expansion in their offices here. And one more, Freescale. So that's a lot of companies. It's only scratching the surface. But again, to give you an idea of the kind of companies that we have here. And we know that these kind of companies hire engineers and software developers. And these are high-paying jobs. And so when you can have somebody come out here and make really good money and live in an area that has a low cost of living, that makes for very happy employees. And of course, a lot of expendable income that could be spent in the area. So let's talk a little bit about the cost of living. We have a quick chart here that kind of goes over the basics of what it costs to survive month to month or from year to year. And so you have the basics such as housing, grocery, utilities, transportation, healthcare. So on the bottom here, you'll see a chart of the different cities. You have Atlanta, Austin, Boston, Chicago, all the way across, and then you have the chart that goes up. No big surprise, New York, Manhattan area, very, very expensive place to live. I don't know how people survive there. And of course, San Francisco, very expensive. You can see that Los Angeles is very expensive, Boston. But you look at Austin, where we do have a very high income compared to the rest of the state and a lot of the country, our cost of living is quite affordable compared to other major cities in the United States. Again, another attractive name, something that's very attractive for people who want to come here. When they're looking at jobs, they're going to look at, well, how much does it cost me to live there? They can see that I can make good money, but also I can keep the money in my pocket because it doesn't cost me an arm and leg to live there. Now, here's something that's kind of interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about Austin real estate real quick. Now, this is an interesting chart that I pulled. On the left-hand side of this chart, you can see the numbers run from 0 all the way up to 300,000. On the bottom, it actually shows some of the cities that we look to buy properties, and these are in North Austin, the Williamson County area, Georgetown, Cedar Park, Leander, Round Rock, and Plugerville. Now, you see multiple colors on there also. These colors represent different years of the average sales price. Now, if you go from each city and you go from left to right, it starts with the dark green. That's the average sales price in 2007. It goes all the way over to the average sales price of 2014. I think this went up to about September, October, these numbers, the data for 2014. Now what this shows you is that we have a average sales price since 2007 to 2014. Now what's interesting, most of you can remember very vividly that during 2007, especially 8, 9, 10, we were in a horrible recession, and we saw a lot of areas of the country, Florida, Phoenix, Vegas, of course California, other places that saw massive depreciation in the values of their houses. What we see on this chart, if you look at pretty much any city, you look at 2007, which is the dark green, and go from left to right, you can see that there wasn't very much dip between 2007 and 2010 when this recession was happening. Part of that's because we didn't have a lot of foreclosures, but it also has to do with what was happening here in Austin. Of course, in the state of Texas, we had a good economic run because of obviously the energy sector, so that helps to pad and protect Texas in general. But Austin, because of the tech sector and the type of companies that were here, they weren't affected near as much as a lot of other areas. So we didn't see very much depreciation. In fact, on average, we saw maybe about 10 to 12% depreciation and gained most of that back by 2011. And of course, from this chart, you can see in the yellow, 2013, 2014, and really the year before that, 2012, we've seen anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12% each year. So we've had a very nice run in the value of our houses. Now, and of course, I don't have a chart for the different cities in California where you're all from, but I know that if you had the same chart in front of you in 2007, you would have seen a roller coaster drop off. It would have dropped off tremendously, your chart, and then of course you would have seen it roar back up. What we like about Austin is that it's a very steady Eddie market. It's a very strong economy, and I can't tell you today that 15 years from now Austin's going to be this perfect city with perfect economy and everything's going well. Now we look at the forecast and we say that things are in the right place to provide for a very positive and very dynamic future. But if you want to know what the future is, I think the best thing to do is look at the indicators of today and what's happened in the past. Those will often tell you what the future is going to be for an area. So if you look at the recession we went through, one of the worst recessions we've had since the Depression, in Austin, highest unemployment was only about 7.5%, and now we're under 4%. I think it tells you it's a very safe place to be able to invest into a real estate market because of the steady nature of its economics. All right, let's jump off to the next one. Some different things that have been written about the Austin real estate market. Real estate demand is there because the jobs are here. One big advantage in Austin is that employers are able to recruit because people move to Austin and area as well as find work locally. You've got low cost of living. You don't have personal income tax. It's a Sun Belt city. These are all things that are written in Bloomberg about why Austin is the top place in the country to move and to invest. In fact, it topped San Francisco this year for the best place to go. And again, it's because there's jobs. People are going to want to go where there's good paying jobs. It's got a great climate. It's got a great economics. So it's a great place to come. Let's talk a little bit about this stat. Actually is from September, showing the recent year-to-year increases or decreases. In September, we saw the median house price increase by 8%, and we're still seeing the average days on market being very, very low. In fact, a lot of the areas that we try to buy that are very popular from the Williamson County area, houses are on the market for maybe 7 to 10 days. So when we do get a good property, the hint there is that we got to move very quickly. So the real estate market here is still doing very, very well. So how does that correlate with the leasing part or the renting part of the real estate market? Now what's kind of interesting is that usually, and we'll go to an example, we were in the recession across the country, most areas had the dynamic of, well, so many people were losing their houses and very few people were buying, so the lease market was very high because most people couldn't qualify to buy, so but they have to live someplace, so they're renting. And then when you get the reverse, when the real estate market's doing well, everybody's buying, the lease market usually goes flat. Well, in Austin, it's done just the opposite, where you have a very hot real estate market, but because there's so many people moving here and there's such a supply and demand issue, people have to rent. And so we've seen the increase in the sales, but also on the lease side, we've seen it track consistently at the same levels. as the sell. So as an example here, it says the median price for Austin area lease was $1,480, which is a 10% increase over the same month in September. Now, what generally happens if we start seeing multiple years of appreciation, you start to lose your cash flow because your rents are usually steady or flat because everybody's buying. And so your cash flow starts eating away. But we haven't seen that also. We've seen the lease track with the sales. So as we've seen the appreciation, so has the appreciation of our lease and our rents. So it's helped us to be able to get appreciation for our investors and still keep these properties cash flowing $150 to $200 a month, which is very exciting. It's not very many markets you can say that. All right, so let's kind of take this all down to the basics. When anybody's looking to invest in a market, everybody has different philosophies. Everybody has different wants and different needs. Some people are looking to invest into a market because they like and they want to invest maybe in multifamily, so they can get one loan and get two doors and they want to buy a duplex or a fourplex. Everybody or somebody feels more comfortable buying a single family. Everybody's desire and wants are all different. But it all comes down to also is where do you want to buy that property and what makes sense. Now there's lots of places where you can buy very inexpensive houses. But if the economics in those areas are very low and unemployment's so high, where is that going to, and where actually economies have turned, where is that city going to be in another 10, 15 years? So it only makes sense if you're going to invest is to invest someplace that has proven that it's been able to ride out one of the worst recessions we've ever had very well, better than most places in the country, and then continue to increase and to grow during the good times. Because it's not just about what's happening now, it's about this house you purchased because you can't get up and move it. Where was this house and what's the economics going to be 15 years from now? Is there going to be a major move out by everybody because all of a sudden your industry's gone? Well, we don't see that happen in Austin because we have a very progressive industries. So that's very important when you look to buy someplace. What is the future for growth over the next 10, 15, 20 years? Because these are long-term holds. So Austin, Texas, we have great economic growth. We've shown that even during the recession. We have a very pro-business environment. I think most people know about Texas. We're a very prideful state. We don't have state income tax, and we're very pro-business in how the state attracts new companies to come here without having to do the over-regulation, over-tax. It's a very diverse economy. We have very high-paying jobs here. And, of course, why people are moving here? Because they have jobs and more jobs. And it's a great quality of life in Central Texas. We have increasing rents, and we're continuing to see home appreciation. And all that all together really says that Austin has a very, very, very bright future. And we're very excited about what's happening here. And I feel very blessed that when I left Phoenix in 2005, of course, that was the top, if most of you remember, really that summer was the top of the real estate market. I moved out of there and came to Austin, and it was a great blessing because as we went through the crash, really was insulated here in Austin. And so we recommend, that's why we recommend Austin so highly because of the insulation that you have here and the type of economy that it is, that's a great place to invest long term. So, of course, we're all here for one big reason, learn a little bit about Austin, but of course see the properties that are available and how they'll fit with your portfolio. Some of you may be first-time home buyers or, first-time investors, and some of you may have multiple properties. But whatever you have, we can always find what you're looking for. If you have a lot of single family and you want to start going into multifamily, we can do that. Or maybe you already have a couple multifamily, you want to go single family. Whatever you're looking to do, we can make that fit for you here in the Austin area. So, okay, let's talk about our first property. This is one of the most exciting properties that we have on here because of a couple different things. This property is 215 Madison Lane, and it's in HUTTO, Texas. So if you all happen to have a map next to you, if you're looking at Austin, HUTTO is up in North Austin, right next to Round Rock, right on the east side of it. It's a great city that's had a lot of growth. Most of the homes in there are 2,000 or newer. This house here, it's a one-story. It's a four-bedroom, and it's hard to find four bedrooms out here. A lot of 3-2s. So it's a four-bedroom, almost 1,500 square foot, built in 2004, so a fairly new house with 2 full baths. And the great thing about this property, it's already leased. We already have a tenant in there, and that's fantastic. That means we go through, we write a contract on this property, you close on it in 30 days, there's no make ready. You don't have to worry about doing any kind of make ready. There's no time down because we're looking for a tenant to put in there. There's no having to pay for the procuring of a tenant. So as soon as you close on this property, you're cash flowing this property. Not only that, but it's a great price. Look, $139,900. It's a fantastic price. You figure you put your down payment on there. We have most of the numbers on the right-hand side here. And we try to be very conservative with our numbers. We figure in 5% maintenance, 5% vacancy. We have the property management. We figure PITI all the way across and give you an estimated expenses of about, total monthly expense of about $1,100. On top of that, you'll see our projected rent or our actual rent on this property at $1,295. You're seeing a cash flow at this time of almost $140,000, or excuse me, $140,000. Wouldn't that be wonderful? $140 per month, which is great. Now, of course, remember that's figuring in 5% or 5% maintenance, 5% vacancy. So this property, your gross is over $200 a month, and you have no expenses going into this property because it's already rented out through next May, which is fantastic. We love this property. There's not many times when we can bring in a property that we already manage, that we already know the history on the property, and that you can walk in and not have to put a dime in.
Yeah, and also the tenant. And also the tenant, you know that they pay on time, and it's just...
Exactly. We put this person in there, and the due diligence we do, that's funny, due diligence we do, due diligence that we take in finding the right tenant. We don't want to put a tenant in there just to put a tenant in. We want somebody that we know gives us the best opportunity to be able to pay the rent on time and take care of the property, because the less amount of headaches for us means less amount of headaches for you, and it's a good experience for the tenant, it's a good experience for the owner. So we put this person in. They're good qualified folks, and like I said, there's not many opportunities where you can walk in and have to put out outside of buying the property. You're cash flowing on day one, and that's really exciting. Again, this property is in HUTTO, Texas, right along the 130. It's about 5 minutes from Dell Diamond, which is where the AAA team for the Texas Rangers plays. Close to lots of shopping. It's about a 25-minute drive from downtown Austin. So it's a great area. In all these neighborhoods we're looking at, these are very soccer mom neighborhoods. Very friendly, lots of kids, good school districts. So if you have more questions or interest in this property, make sure you let Tanya and I know, and we can definitely get you more information on that property. Okay, let's move over to the next one. This property is at 17407 Linnhe Loop, and this is located in Plugerville, which is, again, in North Austin, just south of Round Rock. Again, a very soccer mom type neighborhood. This property was built in 1998. The 2-story, 3-bed, 2.5 bath, and about 1,600 square foot. Again, this property here has laminate and tile downstairs, so there's very little make-ready that needs to be done on the property on the flooring. And, of course, that saves you dollars long-term not having carpet downstairs. This property is listed at $150,000. Again, we have all the numbers on the right-hand side showing PITI, property management, and the normal expenses in holding a property. And with our projected rent of $1,350, I think we can actually get this closer easily to $1,375 to $1,395, because that's what they're going for. But again, we want to be conservative with the numbers that we have here. We're seeing a projected cash flow of $163 per month. And like I said, this is including the 5% vacancy, 5% maintenance, and I think we can get another $25 to $50 a month for this. So this is really easily a $200 a month property to $250 a month property cash flow. And we're not talking, you know, properties that are built in, you know, 1960, 1970 that are kind of run down, and they're really, really inexpensive, and we get a decent rent on it and get your cash flow. These are newer properties that are well maintained in good neighborhoods that are close to Austin. These are folks that live in here, are teachers, mechanics, people starting off, you know, who are in the tech industry. These are the kind of people that are renting these properties. It's located in a fantastic place in Plugerville. It's about 2 miles off of I-35. And if you know anything about Austin, I-35 kind of runs from basically Canada down to Mexico. And that's the main corridor that goes through Austin. So it's easy access to that. It's probably, most of the rest of these properties are about 5 to 10 minutes from a major tech company. This one's very close to Samsung and Dell, and probably about 10 minutes or so from both Apple, IBM, and who else over there? HP over there. So really nice house, good price point that we like. Our kind of our sweet spot's the 140 to 150 range that gives us good cash flow. good neighborhood, and a property that's going to help you to get decent appreciation on the long term. And that's what we look for. So really sharp property, very good location with community park and pools. Next property I want to show you here is another property out in Hutto. And this property is again, very, very sharp, very, very clean. It's at 115 Bayless Street. It's a one-story, 3-2. Now, it's a little bit smaller house. It's a little over 1,000 square feet, but it's got a very open floor plan. And if anybody of you are in the real estate business or walk a lot of properties, it's always about floor plan. Does it flow? And this property actually flows very, very well. It's a very open room between the kitchen, the family room, and the master is actually quite large. So this property has laminate wood floors in the family room and through the kitchen, in the walkway, and only carpet in the bedrooms. It's very clean. So it is, we figure the make ready on this property is probably less than $1,000 because you'll have to do your initial cleaning, rekey, things like that. It is vacant at this time. It just came on the market today. So this property, like at this price point, at $129,000, we don't see this price point very often now in Austin. So to get a property that's built in 2008, 3-2, that's very clean, very little make ready, can rent in less than 30 days. Very, very hot property, moved very quickly. And even on this property, with your net on this property, you're looking at $160. Your gross is still over $200 a month. And remember, it's a 2008. The amount of maintenance you're going to have on this property is going to be very minimal because it's not a very old property. So that bodes well to keep the numbers that we figured in here on your maintenance lower and lower, so your actual net will go up closer to what we think the gross number is. And these are actually on larger lots. It's on the back of the community. It's a very, very quiet area. And again, it's kind of your soccer mom neighborhood, lots of kids, and the elementary school is probably less than a mile away from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? A lot of you guys are asking to see the remainder of that screen. For some reason, it's not coming up. But all the numbers on these property profiles can be found on our website at mrren.com. What you do is you just go under investments and search Austin, and we just posted these properties because, as Craig is saying, at these price points in these neighborhoods that are highly sought after, they go quickly. So we just updated them this evening before the webinar. So you can go on our webpage and look at these properties and go to the detailed financials and see the, as Dave and Bob and a few other people are asking, look at the detailed numbers about projected vacancy and projected maintenance, which is yours at the end of the month, but we want you to save that for the rainy day when it does happen. Maybe it's in a year, maybe it's in 4 years, but that's just up to you guys. So go to our website, look at these properties. They're there for the full breakdown. I know you guys are used to seeing it a bit more detailed on spreadsheet, but this is just the overall breakdown. So I saw like a ton of questions pop in all the same. So
no, I appreciate that.
Continue.
That, yeah. But that's a great thing. That's if you pull up a second screen on your computer and build and pull up that, you can see all the numbers on there. And it's a fantastic service that they have on their website where you can play with the numbers, interest rates, the type of loan you want to do, down payment, and you can really cater it to the kind of loan you're looking for. So it's a great tool to use on a regular basis, and you can find all these on there. And again, as I was saying, 2 years ago, we could see lots of properties in that 120, 130 range, but with depreciation and the demand on houses and because of the amount of folks moving here, the days of finding under 130 is very, very rare. So when we do see one like this that came up, and this property, actually Doug ran out to it about probably about 11 o'clock when it came on the market to get all the details. It won't last long, but will work as a fantastic single-family investment property in a real good area. So that's a very solid property. Let's take a look at one more here. Now, this is a multifamily that we brought for tonight. These are some duplexes that are in the process of being built. They're in the slab stage, and they're out in Bastrop. And Bastrop is southeast of downtown Austin, probably about 25-minute drive, 20 or so, 30-minute drive. And Bastrop is a very unique area of Central Texas because it's known for the Lost Pines. So when you drive out to Bastrop, you go from the Texas oaks, and all of a sudden you're in a pine forest, which is really, it's really neat, but it's very, very strange to see that in this part of Texas. So Bastrop has its own flavor, has a lot of resorts, a lot of outdoor activities, large national parks and things like that. So this is a great area that's seen a tremendous amount of growth, and again, it's only about 25, 30 minutes out of Austin, which for those who are in Orange County or San Diego or San Francisco, 30 minutes there, obviously is nothing. So it's a great area. These are brand new duplexes that are being built. They should be ready here in the next couple months. They're 2-story. They're 3-2 on each side, and about 1,150 square foot a side. So they're good-sized duplexes with one-car garages aside, and they're priced at $249. Now the rents that we're seeing out there are at $1,150 per side, so that's going to give you a projected rent of $2,300. And figuring out your net on this property, you're looking at almost $450 per month cash flow. Again, guys, that's your net. We're figuring in 5% maintenance, 5% 5% vacancy. So you have to stop and ask yourself for a second, well, how much maintenance are you going to have in the first 5 to 10 years on a brand new property? Well, most of the stuff in the first couple of years is all under warranty. So if you compare the two, if you bought a property built in 1960 and you hold the property for 10, 15 years, you can figure that your amount of maintenance on the property is going to be a little bit higher. You go to a brand new property over a 10, 15 year, the maintenance percentage is going to be very low, much closer to your gross than what we have here in the projected net. So really the gross on this property is over $700 per month, which is amazing for a brand new property in a hot market. You just don't find that very many places. And not only that, but think about this. If you're getting up and you have multiple properties, it's a great way to be able to get more doors for one loan. Because when you get a duplex, you're going to get 2 rents, but you only had to get 1 loan for it. So that's a great way to be able to maximize and leverage the amount of loans you can get when you start getting up to that 5, 6, 7 properties, is to start going with multifamily. So again, this is in Bastrop. It's about 25, 30 minutes outside of Austin. Very, very fast-growing area, and 3-2, very large. And you can't argue with what the opportunity is with this when it comes to cash flow. It's really a no-brainer. At $249, getting a brand new property, and these will be ready going into early spring, which is fantastic because the rental market here is hot anyways. Even now we're renting properties in days. That we get into the out of winter to early spring, it's just going to be better. So it should be very easy to get tenants into this property, and we're very excited about that. So if you have any questions about any of the properties that we've shown tonight, we always have new properties coming on, new projects coming on. So the different properties we have, it's going to change. These properties will move quickly, so if you see one that you like and that you're interested in, be sure to get a hold of Tanya. She can walk you through the numbers, figure out what makes the most sense for you. And of course, you have questions about Austin. That's what Tanya's there for. She does a great job. We always have a great time with her because she's just good with people and she knows what she's talking about. We always appreciate you. And I want to say thank you again to Tanya for doing this tonight and inviting me to be able to share, which I always enjoy doing, get to share about the great things happening in Austin. Of course, we're here to answer any questions, via email, give us a call, whatever we can do, that's what we're here for.
Thank you so much, Craig. It's always awesome working with you, and we do have a few questions. Sorry, somebody's calling me inbound if I keep on getting cut off here, but I will call you right back. And so anyhow, I just wanted to share that we had a couple questions here about the down payment. I'm just going to answer about 3 questions with you guys here. So so Veronica was asking, is the 25 to 30% the expected down payment on most properties? So Craig, would you like to answer that, or would you like me to answer that based on the 1 through 4 and 5 through 10?
Yeah, it just kind of depends. On a multifamily, on an investment property that's single family, the bare minimum is going to be 20%. So depending on people's credit, their debt to income ratios, and the amount of assets they have, each person is going to be a little bit different. But generally, it's going to be 20% on a single family. It may be more for some people, depending on how many properties they have, the risk, and things like that. So that's going to be a little more individual to each person, but traditionally, it's 20%. When you get into multifamily, like a duplex or fourplex, it generally goes up to 25%. And again, it can vary a little bit depending on how many properties and how much risk the bank, when they're doing the underwriting, determines that you have. So traditionally, it's 25. but it can go up to 30% depending on the status and the situation for each individual investor.
Yes, correct. And if you carry over 4 loans, both of those jump up by the 5%. So I'll go over that with you guys later if that does apply to you if you hold more than 4 properties, okay? And then I had another property question from John. He's asking, how do you feel, Craig, that Austin ranks for retiring?
Actually, it's funny, if you go to my website, there was just an article in, I think it was Forbes, and so if you go to hrgaustin.com or hechtrealestate.com, and you go to that link I showed you or to the section on the for Austin News, we were ranked number 3 for best places for retirees. And that number probably, when I first moved here, would have been put you in maybe the top 20. And we've seen that steadily come closer to number 1 because I think this popularity of Austin, but also the word's getting out of the affordability of Austin. Of course, with retirees, fixed incomes, things like that, you got to know that you're in a stable area and that there's an affordable area, which Austin is. Georgetown has a Del Webb community that has over 25,000 homes, and of course, most people know Del Webb, that developer. They've developed stuff in Florida, Phoenix, California for retirees. So it's a huge community, and we're seeing more and more come here. Having no state income tax is very attractive for folks who are bringing in the retirement here. And of course the weather, here. I mean, it's Texas, it gets hot during the summer for about 3-4 weeks, but generally the humidity here is not as bad, so it's very attractive. It's usually in the 30% range. It's beautiful weather during the winter and the spring, so it really fits very well. And if you go to hrgaustin.com, you'll be able to see under Austin News, you'll see it's probably an article we put up there in the last week or 2 or 3. It actually lists Austin as ranked number 3 for retirees. So that's funny you brought that up because it was literally an article that just came out.
Yes, awesome. And we have some people saying that they're going to come visit you. So
hey, we love it because I like to take people out. I love people to take people out. And we like to take people to barbecue. It gives me an excuse to eat because I'm a pro eater. So we can take you to our barbecue. And of course, if you ever want to know of a good taco place, just ask Scott. He's addicted to our place called Torchy's out here. So we have good food. So you'll see a lot of good properties, have a lot of fun, and you'll eat very well while you're here. Guarantee you that.
Yes. And so I have a few questions that are just popping up that I think I can answer on a personal basis here for you guys because it doesn't really apply to everyone's situation. But that is pretty much it. I'm going to get back to all your questions if I didn't go over them this evening. But my line is open. I'll be here. I'll return all your voicemails and emails before I leave this evening. If you specifically like the property, we work on a first-come, first-served basis here at Marshall Reddick. So if it's your first time with us and you don't know, we only allow 1 Marshall Reddick member per property because we don't want a bidding war. That doesn't make sense. We're investors, right? So we don't want to bid up against our own members. So let me know what you like, and we'll get you pre-approved if you're not already approved and get you into a property that you like best. So I definitely look forward to speaking with you guys and tons of follow-up tomorrow. Thank you so much for everything, Craig. As always, it's such a pleasure to have you out here and have you on our webinars.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
That's pretty much it, you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Anything else you want to add, Craig?
Hey, if you want to come to Austin, come out. It's a great place to be. And, of course, any questions on the properties, be sure to shoot us emails, talk to Tanya, and let us know what we can do for you. Happy here to make sure that you're comfortable with your next investment property. We do sincerely believe that Austin will provide you with a very solid property. So let us help you out with the questions you have, and we can get you set up for a very successful investment here in Austin.
Absolutely, time and time again. All right, thanks, Craig. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.